and welcome to the Royal Geek Podcast. I'm your host, Tyler Rollison, also known as T-Roll. And tonight I am joined by my very good friends. First of all, we have Justin Sandoval, a.k.a. Sandy. We also have Anthony Amato, who we like to call Shamato. Boys, we're back again to have another exciting episode of the Royal Geek Podcast. Tonight we're talking some Daredevil. But before we do that, how you guys feeling?
It's pollen season, so I kind of hate life right now.
Yeah.
I literally to go outside to play with the kids. I'm wearing
Put
a
a mask.
mask and I'm wearing these like safety goggles that are like a vacuum seal around the eyes, so my eyes don't itch. So
Yeah.
So you look like a freak.
As your neighbors look over and are like, that is why America is failing.
probably, yeah.
You probably are scaring your neighbors, honestly.
I probably am. Yeah. It's rough. It's
Yeah.
rough out here.
That's
Yeah,
funny.
Normally we don't get snow in our part of the world, but the pollen for that two weeks in
Real,
March
yeah.
and April is essentially our snow.
It's like once you get through the pollen storm, the spring is nice. You just
Yes.
have to get through the pollen.
Yeah.
So, yep. So we live in the South, so for all those who are wondering. And the pollen is crazy. But you know what else is crazy? This freaking Daredevil show, man.
Yeah.
Crazy good.
Yes.
Yeah, we are here to review, I think it's episode 6, titled Art for Art's Sake. Or maybe it's 7. What is it?
7.
7, even better.
It's our 6th week of
That's right.
doing
They had a
reviews.
double.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, episode 7, Art for Art's Sake. Yeah, we're going to give you a spoiler warning here in a minute. But before we do that, we just want to thank you for tuning in to the Royal Geek Podcast. We want to remind you to please subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen. Leave us a review, a comment. Send us an email at it's royalgeekpodcast@gmail.com. And also, if you really want to help us out, here's what you can do. You got any friends who are watching Daredevil? Hit that share button on this podcast. Send them this particular episode and help us, meet some new folks, some new friends of the pod. What do we think, boys? Ready for the spoiler warning?
Yeah, give it, man. Let's
Okay.
go.
Here's a
dive in.
spoiler warning for episode 7, Art for Art's Sake. We're there. What'd you guys think of this episode?
All right, so I feel like I just kind of got to say this, but is Marvel back, dude? Dude, Daredevil. This episode was amazing, dude.
Yeah.
I fully was locked in from
Me too.
beginning of the episode to the very end. Like,
Yeah.
it was so good, man. I'm enjoying the show.
Yeah, I mean it's been amazing so far. It's had a great run. I do think it'll be interesting. We need Marvel to have a current original property really show up, because like Daredevil being a coming in property, Deadpool being a coming in property have been some of their biggest hits recently. So we really need them to have like an original property from birth from them to really be getting into this whole.
So Amato
Marvel
can't
back.
say Marvel's back yet, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah. That's what
He
I'm
just
hearing.
threw some.
Yeah.
Did
He
you just
was-
put your flame out, bro?
You know, you can't put this out, dude. I feel good. I feel good right now, man. We'll see what Thunderbolts does to me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, well, we'll see. Let's see. For me, I enjoyed it. Action incredible.
yes,
I think the cuts, just the directing, the editing, the cuts of from one thing to the next was awesome.
yeah.
I just felt so much like good angst as the episode was going on. You know, like really nervous for Heather.
Very.
Like, yeah, I was like, he's gonna get there in time. Like, I didn't know. I really didn't know.
Yeah.
So,
At the
man,
beginning of the episode, I was like, things are going too well for Matt as far as like his relationship with Heather.
Yeah.
I'm not feeling good about this.
yeah, they something. I will say, just from the jump before I forget, the fact that they show him when she's consoling him, they show him feel her face,
Oh yeah.
and then
Yeah.
that's how he figures out his painting, Muse's paintings later.
Yeah. Oof.
First of all, I wonder, like, okay,
Is that possible?
is that possible? Yeah. It's cool. It's poetic, but it was
Yeah.
like, there's part of my realism side that was like, nah, that's a stretch.
You don't have enhanced senses like Daredevil. So.
I mean, it isn't about his senses. It's about Muse's ability to make
Mhm.
art.
Okay.
That's really where it comes down to.
Muse he was at the book signing, so he's clearly a fan. So
He's more than a fan.
you have pictures of her. You can draw her face in a symmetrical way that Daredevil could feel. So I'm not. His art was incredible. You saw the
Yeah,
all
his
around
art,
the city.
yeah, that's true.
So yeah, back
But
off,
all of
dude.
it's 2D art.
I mean,
It's actually a sad day for New York. They're losing a great artist, you know?
Yeah.
Just kidding, dude.
Ouch.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
No, but for real, this episode's great, man. It's
Podcast over. There you go.
yeah. So, anyways, thanks for tuning in to the Royal Geek Podcast. I mean, where do you guys want to begin? There's a lot happening with.
I think in the beginning, Matt's kind of like taking a shower and
Yeah.
blood's dripping in the drain. And then as the blood goes down the drain, she comes in and she joins him in the shower. A part of me is like, you're still dripping blood somewhere. Like
somewhere.
she should catch up. She touches bruise. but-
Yeah.
And he's blind, so he doesn't know how much blood's in
Right.
there.
Correct. But so I figured she would like kind of pick up on everything. But then they do their thing in the shower, and then they come out and they have a discussion. I was actually like really locked into this dialogue and this conversation here because I was trying to look at it through her eyes. Like she's like a psychiatrist, so she's trying to
Yeah.
dig deeper into Matt Murdock. And I'm like, is she gonna find out he's Daredevil here? Like I feel like this is something that she could do based on questions she asked or like things that she's picking up on, that kind of thing.
Sure, sure.
I think she's more thinking of him having a mental breakdown in general. Like, I don't think she necessarily is leaning in that direction at the moment. I think she's.
Not yet. Not yet.
I think she's definitely in this phase where she's like, he's obviously not like he has not taken the time to really deal with the death of Foggy and the situation that is leading up to all of this that is happening with him. And I think right now she's concerned about that mentally. I don't think she really thinks there's anything like, anything that could be in the realm of being Daredevil at the moment. I think she's just like, my boyfriend is literally on the verge of having a mental breakdown.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's good. I mean, she's definitely she's on to him right now about being Daredevil, but by the end,
She's using her
Yeah,
she's
getting
using her skills, but I think it's more of a concerned girlfriend than a psychiatrist.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like she's.
I feel like she was toeing the line. I feel like she was like wanting to tap into that, but she was holding herself back.
Yeah, I mean,
I
sure.
think it was using the tools that she has in her psychiatrist bag to help out as the girlfriend, more than if she was really trying to like analyze.
You got a
him.
problem with you using her skills?
no, not at all.
I mean,
not
would
at
you
all.
say the same about Matt? Should he have not saved her and used his skills?
Yeah, she
No,
could he
you're-
have
Huh?
no,
should
you're
he have
taking that
not
too
touched
far.
her
Slippery,
face?
slippery slope there, Justin.
Very slippery.
Slippery
yes.
slope. No, I mean, I thought it was genuine. I mean, maybe it's just our culture's just complete distrust of like counselors and psychiatrists in general.
Maybe.
Maybe that's where you're at there, but I thought it was more of just she's worried for her.
Concerned girlfriend.
Yeah. Concerned girlfriend.
Yeah, I think it's that, and just like the fact that she has more of the capability to see that in other people.
Yeah.
That really was like pushing that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I actually liked how the entire time this scene was going on, you're getting the back and forth between Wilson, Fisk, and Buck. They're kind of talking like,
Yeah.
is he back? Like, and the
It's like you talking about Marvel.
yeah, exactly. Except I think Kingpin here I couldn't pick up on the emotions that he was so like, I hate this, but I love this. I hate this, I love this. Like he really wanted to. I mean, I feel like he wanted to love it. The fact that he has somebody to go after again, and somebody to hate again, and he's like, "Are the rumors true? Are they rumors? Who was there?" Like he's like questioning who saw him, like that kind of thing, and just the elation on his face of like.
I mean, I think
he's
there's
back.
I think there's a lot going on there. I think in a way, he feels a little bit cheated by Matt taking a step back because Matt is essentially like putting himself off of the situation, so he doesn't feel like he ever gets to like finish what he started with him.
Do you think that kind of he feels that he was given the green light by Daredevil to act the way he wants to act too? Do you feel like that happened?
That was the next thing I was going to bring up. I was going to bring up like the idea that if Matt can go back to being Daredevil, then that means he has the right to go back to being Kingpin.
Yeah, that's what I kind of got because I feel like he was battling himself there.
Yeah.
He was like, "Oh, I get to be me again," but then on the other hand, he's like, "No, I kind of got to hold it together here. Like, I don't know if I really want him to be back. Like, are these actually rumors?"
Okay, here's what I want to do. I want to break this down into two elements. I'm most intrigued, go figure, with all the stuff with Kingpin.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I want to talk about that last. Let's go through all the boring Matt stuff first. Just kidding. It's great. It's great. I do
Yeah.
just want to talk about Matt first. So we already talked about him in the shower, and he's connecting with Heather. Let's talk about him and Cherry. So Matt goes to his
Ooh, yeah.
office.
Mhm.
Cherry's there, and he is just pissed off. right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because he was like, you told me you were.
And he's like, dude, one day?
Yeah.
Like, if you think about it, that was yesterday. Like, it was last week for us, but Cherry
Yeah.
telling him about Muse was yesterday
yeah,
in this show.
exactly.
You know, like,
And-
it took him no time.
And Matt's excuse was like, the police weren't going to do anything. Like,
Yeah.
he was so faithful in the system, and then within one day, he's like, they weren't going to do anything about it. Like,
No.
I do wish Matt could have said, like, well, or did he? Did he mention, like, is her name Angela, the girl?
Angela,
Yes.
yeah. Mhm.
Did he tell Cherry, like, they had Angela? Like, they had this girl?
He brought up the fact that the victims, like there was 60 victims, there was
60,
about to be 61.
but in
yeah,
particular-
he mentioned it, Angela
Angela,
being
he
the
did.
61st, that he saved her.
Yeah,
Like,
well, I think Cherry's got to, you know,
he's got to calm down for sure.
yeah, I guess that's where I'm. Are you in that camp, Shamato?
I mean, I feel like okay. I think Cherry's kind of like riding this line of like, I think he feels an obligation to Murdoch because of how much he's helped him, and he wants to help him do things
The right way?
the right way. But he also has this. I think he still has this like lingering loyalty to the order of life because he was a police officer. So like I feel like he has this like almost split this split in himself where he's just feeling pulled in both directions. I think at the moment.
Yeah, well then Matt drops the line. He's like, a year ago, you would have been coming to me. Like,
Yeah, right.
Like, I mean, with that line alone, I feel like Cherry is like has no ground to stand on because why would you be questioning this now that you're out of the game and you're working as a private eye, but then now all of a sudden you're questioning things just because Matt told you that he was stopping and now he's not? Like, I don't know. I don't understand that. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like Matt was the one in the right here.
I think I mean, overall, episode's amazing. This feels like nitpicking here. But I would say maybe a better writing choice, and we don't know where they're going for the rest of the season, but I feel like maybe just something a little more subtle from Cherry where he could have been like, dude, really?
Yeah.
That was yesterday. But he doesn't totally bail on him like he seemingly is.
Yeah. Did you get the tones that, like, Cherry was maybe going to tattle on him? Did you, like...
I did not.
No. Okay. A part
did you get that?
of me picked up on like if you keep going down this route, I'm going to turn you in vibes.
I mean, I could see there being a possibility that like like I said, he still feels like he has a connection to the police department because he was a police officer for a very long time, and so I feel like he there is a possibility maybe in a naive way he may, put his confidence maybe in a police officer that he shouldn't. Or, maybe something good will come out of it and he'll put his confidence in a police officer that he should. Because honestly, unfortunately, there's only one officer right now in the entire show that I'd be like, you might be able to trust them.
Which officer is that?
Agent Kim?
Oh.
Yes, the detective.
Yeah. I guess.
I feel like right now that her character in general is working towards like being the one police
Yeah.
officer who's going to be like on his
Seems
side.
like they're building her as like the
Yes.
safe place for
Yes.
for Cherry, for Matt, for anyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they do make a
Not for
point.
Devlin though.
Right. No. Yeah. They do. They do make a point to have her report to Kingpin.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I did like that.
But I think like in that moment, you're seeing her almost push back on these things.
Oh yeah.
she's doing.
No. She definitely does. Yeah.
like,
Especially when he's like, "I'll take care of him here." She's like, okay.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Like,
Thanks.
Yes. So, and I think it's
Go home
important
early.
for him to have that character because it gives him an insight to what's actually happening. Like Murdoch and Cherry to have some insight into what's actually happening in the police department because they don't have someone that they can really rely on.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes
That's
sense.
good.
Okay, so but Cherry, he's freaking out. But Matt, he's doubling down, and he goes, "What is it that sends him back to Muse's cave?" It was Angela,
He
right?
talks to Angela. Yes.
Yeah.
Which I kind of like. I kind of wish they could have done something here. I know they were trying to do his like face touching thing later and stuff like that.
Yeah,
But maybe if like if they had her like drop some more descriptions about what the pictures looked like or something like that, they could have, like maybe they didn't.
they
make
wanted the big
sense.
reveal for him.
Yeah,
finding the picture.
maybe, or like even if they had done later, like maybe she dropped some hints that don't line up in the moment, but like when he's there, they start lining up.
Yeah.
About what he's actually going to be doing. But yeah, because of course, even though he's been there as Daredevil, he doesn't have any idea what the place looks like because he can't see. So so he kind of has to know like what's
Tell
going
me
on. He
everything.
didn't really have
Yeah.
time to like look around the place before.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
a good point.
So, and then I feel like not long after the conversation he has with Angela is when we see Heather open her door at her office.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
it's Bastion.
When he comes in
Yes.
with a bag, I'm like, oh dang. It's
Yeah, it's like, what are you showing up with a
why are you
bag
bringing
for?
a duffel bag?
Yeah.
Like, it's
Yeah.
That's a little unnecessary for a hour session. Like, she should have been
He
weary
booked
of
the
that.
double. He
Yeah.
booked the double.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Mom and dad were really bad to him apparently, but he said no.
Yeah, they get into that.
Yeah.
And this is the part of the editing of the episode that I love. So Agent Kim is in Kingpin's office, and as she's talking about the Taekwondo coach that was dead at their home estate,
Yeah.
he is talking about it with Heather, opening up
Taekwondo,
about that. Like, and you're learning like how he's able to hold his own to some extent with Daredevil.
Which I'm glad they explained that
Me too.
because if you're just a serial killer, there's no guarantee that you're going to be a really good martial artist as
Yeah.
well. Especially if you
Right.
go up against Daredevil, who is trained by like the like the hand, right? Like
Yeah.
the martial arts experts there.
Yes.
And but yeah, he's able to hold his own because he did Taekwondo for a long time.
And then like they immediately, you're immediately like, oh, he's a threat because of the moment where he's like, one of the best Taekwondo people in the world was killed by this person.
Right. Correct.
Which I do kind of wish that it had been like they put like an emphasis on maybe he killed him with his bare hands or something like that, or he'd been killed like with his bare hands.
would this was I think this was the shortest episode of the season. I think, but like I think
It was
40 minutes. I think
something like
right?
that. Yeah.
Would this have been an appropriate time to actually have a flashback of Bastion as a kid, like
Just
doing,
gonna ask
doing,
that.
doing
Like
this
a
kind
cold
of stuff?
opening, you're
Yeah.
like, what is this story? It
right,
makes
correct,
no sense.
yeah, yeah. Would this have been a good thing for the series to do that?
I don't know. I feel like the way they did it in the office was really interesting, and like you kind of already knew like with Bastion what Bastion was gonna be.
Right,
Like,
yeah.
So like I feel like showing it in a flashback would have been like okay, but it would have been like honestly, it would have cut into Agent Kim's time with Kingpin. Like, what else would they have been talking about? So, like, you got that interaction. You were kind of doubling down the Agent Kim's first interaction with Kingpin, and you got to see her describing what Bastion was and who she might think it is. And you're getting this idea of her being an extremely good detective at the same time because she's inferring all of this from the evidence that they found.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Right,
like,
yeah.
it adds onto her character because we have not gotten to
it
see
added
a
the
whole lot of her.
suspense. Yeah.
Yeah, it was also suspense, but yes, it added on to a lot to her character because although we did meet her 2 episodes ago, it wasn't like you didn't get a whole lot. You got some character to her, but it wasn't like really you got a little bit of her personality, but actually police work wasn't necessarily too highlighted.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, she did a decent job negotiating. That joke came in handy.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so she told one super solid joke, but like honestly, you think about the outcome. The SWAT team was ready to go.
She lost control of the SWAT team.
Yeah, she lost control of the SWAT
Yeah.
team, which is not a good look.
Yeah.
But then also the actual bank robbers were basically already out the door anyway. Like in the sense of like they weren't sitting back and being like,
Sticking
oh,
around,
it's gonna
yeah.
be fine.
Yeah.
Like she's obviously got us so complacent that we're just not gonna do anything.
Right. Yeah. That's a good point. But yeah. So this leads Matt to the train.
Gets to the lair.
Yeah, the train lair.
Yeah.
And he's feeling around on the paintings.
Drops in right out of a video game.
I know, right? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I honestly, I expected that. I expected him to just come in from the top.
Well, because also on like they had established in that same scene that the police were there.
Mhm.
Like the other police were whatever
The task force.
The
yes,
task
the
force
task
was there,
force
yeah.
was there.
Which when while he's like rustling through all the papers and he finds out that it's Heather, he gets interrupted by Officer Powell.
Yeah.
And he just throws a baton at his freaking head,
Knocks him
dude.
out.
It knocks him out
Yeah.
cold. And then I love how they have the next scene with Officer Powell calling Kingpin. He does have a bruise on his head,
Yeah.
which is so
I do.
fantastic.
I wanted more. I was like, Kingpin's like, are you sure? And I want Powell to be like, yes. Like just something. I don't know what, but just something that would have been like, yeah, sir. He kind of knocked me out.
Yeah,
with
he's like,
the-"
are you sure it's him?
Yeah.
Like, that kind of-
Yep, pretty
Yeah,
confident.
I got the baton scar to prove it.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
something like ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
yeah.
But I did think it was a little bit convenient that he did deduce that it was Heather, and
Yeah.
it did feel kind of
Yeah.
rushed. It felt kind of like it was convenience.
Yes,
All
it was
convenience.
definitely a Deus Ex Machina moment.
Yeah, but
yes,
but what came from that was fantastic. I was fine with that. As long as the end result was good, it's him getting to the office, which is great fight scene.
Right. Yeah, and I guess the task force identified her from the pictures as well after Daredevil left.
After he
Yes.
left, yeah,
Yeah.
they didn't pick up on the pictures while they were doing their original research. It took until Daredevil was rustling around for them to
Yeah.
actually figure it out.
yeah,
Super
y-
convenient.
Yeah, I think he said something about like running the pictures through a system, and it came up as Dr. Glenn or something like that.
yeah.
I don't know. They were
Which I did like Kingpin's like instant reaction to that. 'Cause
Yeah.
he knows her, and like I think
Right,
he
yeah.
probably has a fondness to her because she's tried to help him. I think
Yeah.
maybe.
well, yeah. I think when he mentioned Dr. Glenn, he was kind of like, oh, the lady we've been seeing for
yeah.
marital issues. He's like,
And
okay,
all
well,
it's close again. That's what's dude. It's good, right? But
it's all
just-
tied in.
Yeah, New York,
Yes.
one of the biggest cities biggest city in the United States, right?
And three completely separate groups of people end up connected to this one therapist.
Yeah. Well, I
Perfectly-
mean, when you're considered the elite, then maybe, yeah. Like, I mean, Matt Murdock's a lawyer. And he's got the connections.
Yeah, but
so-
how did Bastion afford that?
But he's not an elite lawyer. He's not considered.
No,
to
he's
be
not
like
an
an
elite lawyer, but he battles the elite lawyers. So like
Yeah.
he's around those people. So I mean,
Yeah.
it's feasible. I mean, I can see it
So,
happening.
let's get to the action, okay?
Yes.
I don't want to. I mean, is there anything you guys want to talk about the creepiness of Bastion with Heather? Because it was at times uncomfortable.
I'll take a minute here to shout
Okay.
out Bastion. Like, dude, that performance was fantastic.
Yeah.
The-
all I
the-
could think about was
yeah.
like the way is how much it was similar to his role in Wednesday, like when he made that
Ooh,
turn.
Yeah.
In
spoilers
the
for anyone
show
who
Wednesday.
yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes. But anyway, but it was very similar to like the conversation that he has in that.
I agree.
So,
He did
um,
fantastic.
yeah, he was fantastic.
Yeah.
The only thing that I really wish in that conversation is that if he had just dropped a line that said, "You're like about his artwork," he's like, "Oh, but you're my muse."
Yes.
And like
yes. alluding to his name.
Like
and-
that would have been a phenomenal like just like in like a
Yeah.
crazy
But you already
smile.
knew
See,
that kind
Yes.
of thing, right?
it's it's guys like Muse, it's guys like Bastion that made me stop watching Criminal Minds so many years ago. So it's like I was just squirming watching it, just so uncomfortable.
No, trust me. It made me uncomfortable as well.
Yeah.
But I think that means it did a good job.
No, yeah, great acting for
Yeah.
sure.
So, yeah. But to the action.
Let's go.
This is the first time I feel like I'm literally I was thinking about all 3 seasons of Daredevil. Is this
Yeah.
the first time we've seen Daredevil in broad daylight? I feel like it is.
I think it might be. Yeah.
If it's not the first, then it's probably like the second because it was so weird seeing him in a lit room.
Yeah.
It was so weird. But I actually appreciated how bright his red suit was. Like I was like,
Yeah.
okay. It does have the texture to it, which is not like the comic book version. It didn't have the texture, but I get it. It's realistic. I get it. But I enjoyed seeing that bright
Yeah.
red because that's what we see when we're reading the comic book version.
And it's crazy, like it was crazy in this scene, just seeing the way that people were being just thrown around the room, just like
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
like
I liked how small quarters it was in close combat, and the slamming against the wall, back onto the table,
Yeah.
over the couch. Like it felt like a gritty fight scene, and it wasn't. It didn't feel forced. Like the opening fight scene, it felt forced. It felt forced. Camera was all over the place, trying to figure out what the heck was going on with
Yeah.
Bullseye. But this scene, it was like yes, close quarters. They were fighting each other, and it wasn't. You didn't lose yourself in it. You were focused in on what was actually happening because you could actually see it. Like it made sense. I don't know. I enjoyed it.
yeah, it was awesome. It was just
When the baton went through his shoulder, I was like,
Oh,
dude,
ooh yeah.
what was
I
that?
was like oh
Yeah.
like yeah.
so
brutal.
good, so good.
bro, it was
And then
gruesome.
and it was awesome because it was like honestly like if Bastion could have taken his mind out of that moment and what was happening, he probably would have loved what was happening on the canvas.
Mm.
Like honestly, like I legitimately think.
Oh yeah.
like,
When
it-
he was as he's bleeding out on
like,
the canvas.
Yes,
yeah.
like as like you know, because of course he lays out that huge white sheet and like he's just seeing the blood just all over it. I was thinking, I was like, Bastion would have loved this if he could pull his mind out of this for just a second.
And so, I mean, Daredevil painted with blood on Fisk's painting, and then here he is on this one. Like, is he Banksy? Like, I feel like he might be. I don't know. Like, this might be a thing.
Accidental artist.
Yeah. Oh man.
So, and I love Heather's the one that gets the killing shot, which I liked.
I did not see that coming.
No,
I did not see
neither.
I mean, first off, the way he cut her arm, I was like, dude, she's dead.
Oh, man.
He went down that vein, dude. I was.
Yeah.
He did leave the restraint on, like around the. Like, if you let that go, that thing gushes, dude.
Yeah.
But he left that on, which, I mean, obviously she lost a lot of blood, no matter what. But for her to pull the trigger in the state she was in, fantastic, dude.
Yeah.
Like she went up
like
a notch
3
in my
clips
level.
in, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
She did not.
She
it
finished
wasn't
that
just
clip,
one.
dude. Oh,
she
she did good.
she emptied it.
Yeah.
But I also think it was interesting how, like, because I was kind of expecting more likely to what would happen in that moment would have been Daredevil kills Muse in the heat of the moment, and she
Like shoots him.
no, not just she shoots him, but that she is all of a sudden like disgusted by him, like in the sense of like for killing somebody in front of her. Like that's kind of what I was like, and then it creates like a tension between the idea of how she feels about Murdoch versus how she feels about Daredevil. Being
Creating
so like
strife between
yes,
them.
yes, and like him being able to feel it from both sides, because when he's Daredevil, he can feel the hate, and when he's Murdoch, he can feel the love, and it just like, but it's coming from the same person to the same person that is him.
Yeah. I mean, we get a glimpse. We get a little bit of that. Like she talks about anybody with a mask is a coward. Anybody that hides
Yes,
behind a mask
that
is
was
a
a great
coward.
line that we got before
Good
he
line,
shows
good
up.
line. But I mean,
Same time, this other mask just saved you.
right? Yeah, I feel like she doesn't believe that anymore because at the end she was like, Daredevil was there, like
Yeah.
like, he saved me, that kind of thing. And then
Yeah.
she's like, and he knew my name. Like she was like kind of like in awe of the fact that this was a
Couldn't
thing.
tell if she was in awe or confused. Like how?
Well, no, she was 100% confused.
Or I mean, I don't know. I think at the moment it may be some confusion, but I also think it was like, I think she was saying to Matt, like, then she was giving Matt a chance to almost tell her.
Yeah. Do you think?
Like-
I wonder if
I think she was putting the pieces together in her head, but I don't think she was fully there that Matt was that guy yet.
Okay.
To be honest with you.
Yeah. I wonder if that's how they'll reveal when she finds out, if they reveal that she just is smart, because she is. She's brilliant.
Yeah.
Yes.
So maybe
I
she'll
mean, if
figure
they did it in a way where she's like, "Well, I need to interview somebody. You won't take me to Frank Castle. Like, can you take me to Daredevil?" And then she's like, "Or can you just do it?" Like that kind of thing. Like,
out.
Yeah.
That'd be funny.
yeah, that's the reveal.
Okay, let's shift up everything involving Kingpin.
Okay,
All
yeah.
that side of things.
Yeah, I found it very interesting because like after he realizes like, okay, the rumors could possibly be true. Like, I'm gonna go ahead and brief the task force. Like, I thought it was interesting with him, like talking to the task force, being like, okay, we're gonna do this, guys. We're gonna save this city together. We don't need this rumors of Daredevil being back. Like, I don't know. Kingpin wanting to one up Daredevil, I get that, but him to rely on the task force and go through like the proper channels, like he's going
Yeah.
through the proper channels. It didn't feel
See, but I don't think he is.
right
I don't think he's going through the proper channels.
with the task force.
I don't think he is with the task force. I think he's using the task force as just another one of his crews. I think he's using them to legally do what he wants illegally done. Like
Totally, I agree.
Yeah, I think that it's more like that. Is that instead of having these shady people who might get caught, who might get in prison, they'll look bad on him. He's like, I can have these people with badges go anywhere I want, do whatever I want them to do, and it's all legal.
No,
because
that's
I
good.
say it's
That's
legal.
good. Yeah, no, I like that. Yeah, I think that's the more the direction they're
Yeah.
leaning towards with that.
Yeah,
task force.
which I feel like that's where he's like, because it really felt like he was like, I'm back as Kingpin,
Yeah.
and everything I do is legal.
Yeah, and like once Powell calls him from the train depot and says, "Hey, it's Heather Glenn," and he's like, "Get over there." He's like, "I'll put an APB out." No. You get your butt over there and you figure this out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And before that though, what do you guys think of? Is it Burke? His
Buck.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
Thank you, Buck. So
we get a little more of him, because up until then he seemed like he was more of just like
In the
a
background.
facilitator.
Yeah.
Like he was like he always seemed like he was more like the consigliere than like the gunman.
Yeah. And he
And-
turns out to be pretty pivotal at the end. So
Yes.
yeah.
but even before that, when he's like giving counsel to Kingpin, and Kingpin's kind of fighting with him, but he's like, you're the mayor now.
Yeah.
Like, and then Kingpin alludes to like, do you remember when I
Yes.
brought you
yes.
over?
That was a great.
Remember why?
Yeah.
It's like, because I think of things asymmetrically or something.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Just that whole, I love that
Yes.
scene.
Yeah,
a
and it's
great
an
scene.
interesting way to say like I think outside the box. Is that
Yeah.
thinking outside the box is such a like cliche phrase
Sure,
now?
yeah.
Like, and then you saying I think asymmetrically just sounds, and it
It's
even
official. It sounds official. Is what
not only does it sound official, it also kind of fits into like the theme of the entire episode with the
Yeah.
idea of art and like the asymmetric ideas of art are
Wow.
very
All right.
are very much
Justin, just scroll on your phone during the podcast, huh?
I was looking.
Sure,
For something.
yeah.
Looking for something.
But yeah. So like it even fits into that realm where it's like the idea of something being asymmetrical art, and it falls into those lines as well. So and then we get you get to see the scene of Vanessa and Luca.
Well, hold on. I'm not done
Okay.
with Buck yet, man.
All right,
That's my
all right, go,
dog.
go, go,
That's my
go.
dog, bro.
Let Buck shine, baby.
Buck his moment. All right,
Yes.
what'd you think when Buck was like, "Hey, might actually be good that Daredevil's kind of, getting after this
For the city.
For
He
the-
mentions that.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
what
for
did
the
you got? I
city.
mean,
Yeah, that was a pretty good line there. And then Kim goes like, "Yeah."
here's how I
for
took
the
that.
city.
And here's how I took that. And like,
Fisk is the city. I think that's what he's getting at that moment. Is that it's a moment of like yes, Daredevil is back, but it also gives Fisk and the carte blanche to do whatever he wants to take down Daredevil. It's like martial law in that
see,
moment.
I'm on the completely different end. Here's my theory.
Me too.
I think what Buck's alluding to, and what we honestly see Kingpin do. Now, you might say he just circumstantially had to do this, but at the end, the big moment is Kingpin controls the narrative,
Takes credit.
takes credit,
True.
and I think what Buck is saying is, hey, this is actually good. Like, it's good for the city, and we can get credit for it.
He's kind of baiting Kingpin to be like,
Use
you
him.
can use him.
Use him.
Yes,
Yes,
correct.
that's
Yes,
how
that's exactly how I read
Okay.
that.
That's
yeah.
that's
Yeah.
how I think it.
Yeah.
But I could see that too. I mean,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Because
yeah.
you could the asymmetrical line could be like, we're gonna find new ways to get
Yes.
Daredevil.
Right.
So it could
And
be
it's
either
possible,
way.
like it's possible that it is that, but I think it's also very possible that he uses the fact that Daredevil's out there to use the task force more,
Correct.
and to
yeah.
kind of like clamp down on things that are going on, like
I could see that.
because when there are immediate threats, you can take more advantages of the freedoms,
Sure.
essentially.
Circumstances. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, for sure.
Okay, now back to Vanessa and Luca.
Dude, the secret meeting I don't know. I felt like it was weird.
Really
the-
curious.
the way they did this whole entire
Re-
scene.
I'm really curious what you think. This whole scene or the whole situation? 'Cause-
The situation,
Including
yeah,
the
yeah,
last
yeah.
scene.
Yes, including the last scene.
So this
because-
is where we're gonna land, right? This is like the last major
Yes,
thing to
yes,
talk
yes,
about.
yes,
yes.
Good. This is where I wanted to get to.
Okay. Vanessa's thought process here. I don't know how to take like it's
Yeah.
so
It's very weird.
very
Like,
weird, out of left field. But like, I mean, did you guys pick up on her when she was meeting with Luca in like this weird like column area? Like,
It's like
Did you-
they've had
was it
meetings
here?
here before.
did you pick up on the fact that she was thinking about taking out Fisk like right there? Because
The only
I didn't get that vibe initially.
the only thing was when she said, "Are you asking for permission or help?"
or help.
I thought that was more of her
Go
kind
ahead.
of being like, Luca, like check yourself kind of thing. Like, do you think you can do this by yourself? Like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But then when she sends the address, I'm like, where did that come from? Like, I don't know. I kind of was like,
Okay.
I don't think she was like fully there
I
yet.
think I have an idea.
Okay.
So what I think it is Vanessa was saying, "Let the strongest survive, and I win either way." Because if Luca is able to take out Fisk, that means he was too weak to lead anyway.
Mm.
And then Luca even said that you're in control if we knock off Fisk. So she's in control over there. Luca tries to take out Fisk and he fails, then that shows that Fisk is still the
Still
strongest
Kingpin.
big bad around, and she is right there with him as well, and she is still at the top.
But there's still evidence, though, because his phone still has an address coming from a number that I'm pretty sure Buck can figure out or Kingpin
Okay.
can figure out. Like, so I feel like
Right.
it's not a good idea.
Okay, here's my theory. This is why I wanted to talk about Buck earlier and the whole asymmetrical line, because I don't think that had anything to do with Daredevil. I think Buck. We know that Buck also is working with Vanessa.
Yeah.
Because when Buck went to Luca and the other guys when they're beefing,
Buck came to her.
yeah, well, Buck went on behalf of Vanessa.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think.
To that exact
think-
place, actually.
I think. Yeah, that's right. I think Vanessa and Kingpin are just taking out Luca, and this was Buck's idea or Buck's way to do it.
Yeah.
They lured him in.
Yeah, I can see it. That too. I could see that they set him up as well.
Hence him saying, "Ask Vanessa if she wants anything for dinner."
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
That's a positive.
It was a
thing.
positive,
Yeah.
not because if you look
Yeah.
at it that Vanessa was trying to off him and Kingpin's smart enough to know that, then you could infer maybe the next episode Kingpin's going to go and deal with Vanessa.
Yeah.
I took it as, hey, let Vanessa know it went well, and what does she want for dinner?
You know what, T-Roll? I did not see that at all, but now I'm like that has to be the narrative. That's
think so.
fantastic.
I think so. I think that's and
Because
that's utilizing Buck.
Because if we go the route that Vanessa betraying Kingpin, that is 100% not her character in the comic books. Like we need to, like that would be them deviating, and I'm not here for that.
And I still think like she said a line to Luca that stands with me. She's like, I don't need to explain the actions of my husband to you or anyone.
Which was great. It was fantastic.
I still think she might not fully be down with the whole mayor thing, but I still think there's a part of her a big part of her that like isn't happy with everything that's happened, in her affair and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But she's like, that's still, Wilson.
right. Yeah.
So
Dang,
that's
dude.
my theory.
That's a great theory, T-Roll. You don't have many, but that's great.
Yeah, thanks. Now I will say this: if you're Luca, I guess you want to be the one to take out Kingpin. But I'm like,
Dude, the cloud
You s-
alone would be
I
incredible.
guess so,
Yeah.
but don't you send people? I mean,
Also, I don't like. I would not want to be in the room with a potential failed attempt.
bro.
Let's say you put a shot in his shoulder and then you're up against.
Well,
Like-
that might be, and we don't know much about this Buck guy, but like maybe they just they know what they have in him,
Mm.
and he had no. I mean, Kingpin was not eating like he was worried.
No,
No.
dude,
You know?
that scene was so cold, dude. Like he was just chilling. He was not phased. Even when he got
No.
shot, Luca got shot. He was
Yeah.
still cutting into his whatever he was eating.
Nothing was happening. But I'm just saying, I wouldn't want to be like, even if it went up well,
Yeah.
you
Sure.
didn't, but you shot him, but it ends up hitting his shoulder instead of it, and then you're now face to face with the Kingpin,
Yeah, that's a
and then
big
have
deal.
to fight him hand to hand. Like I wouldn't want to be in that situation.
Oh yeah, you meant if you're Luca. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yes, if I'm Luca.
Gotcha. I messed up there. That's great. But I loved it. I love the way they ended that,
Yeah,
and
that
I
was
think
good.
they did it so well where there is a
Yeah.
discussion of was she crossing Kingpin or my theory were they just setting up Luca because they're tired of him? You know,
Yeah.
I think they're almost just like, dude, this guy hasn't paid his money. We're frustrated,
Yeah, he's obviously a trouble
and-
starter.
and he's come to try to. I think almost like, what if they had a contingency like, hey, if Luca or anyone else ever tries to come cross you off, this is what we're gonna do, and you send me a text that it's time for dinner, and I know what that means, or something like that.
Mm.
You know,
Yeah, I mean, I would love that to play out, but dang, dude,
I think that's where we're going, bro.
Let's get it. Let's get it.
I just can't see a world
I
where
wanna- I wanna
Kingpin
believe
turns
it,
on
yeah.
Vanessa. Like the one thing that's consistent about him in my mind is like,
Vanessa. Yeah,
Yeah.
You're right. He won't. Even if she betrays him, I don't think he will do anything about it. To be honest with you, he'll just keep a closer eye on
Yep.
her. That kind of thing.
yeah, we'll see.
Yeah,
All right.
Yeah, I mean, the only best thing I would say is if it was that, and it'd be really cool if that was a cool moment of just what do you want for dinner? Basically saying that I survived.
Which
Which I think is the more I think that was kind of the more straightforward
that's right.
answer to that situation. But
I agree.
Yeah,
I'm acknowledging. I like my theory a lot, but I think it is more plausible that she was actually attempting to off him, and that's him. I do like the way that could be him being subtly like, yeah, you tried, but you failed.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's what they're going with.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. In my mind, gosh, this episode's so good. The way they directed it, edited it, produced it to where in my mind, it's questionable.
Yeah.
That's what I love. She didn't say, "Okay, you're gonna go kill him." Her and Luca didn't tell you everything
Right.
in
Yeah.
their conversations. Like to the audience, we're left to infer like, what is her aim here? You know,
Right.
that's what I love. That's what I freaking love. That's a good show right there.
That's a good show, man.
Okay, last thoughts. Are we good? Don't say Marvel's back. We're not sure yet, Justin. If Thunderbolts is good, then we'll say it in about a month.
Okay. Deal.
Deal? Okay. But we are back, and, well, now we're about to be gone. So thank you for tuning in. This has been fun. Quick reminder to subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen. Also share this podcast with your friends. If you got any thoughts on Daredevil or anything else we're covering, hit us up. Send us an email at royalgeekpodcast@gmail.com. And, yeah, come back next week. We will be reviewing episode number 8. With all that in mind, what's up, Justin? I can't read your lips.
We got a special in the lead up to Andor.
Oh,
We're going to
okay.
be dropping some special.
Close this thing off, dude.
I know. Hey, I got to throw a plug out there, dude.
All right, go ahead.
Andor season 2 is coming out at the end of the month here in April, and we got some special content coming out midweek. We're gonna have Rogue One retro review being released, and then after that, we're gonna be doing a Andor season 1 recap. So yeah, get excited, man! Andor's Star Wars back, baby. Let's go.
Okay, I am excited for Andor. I'm not excited that you stole my thunder. So, anyways, thanks for the podcast. We'll see you later. I'm just kidding. For your good friends, or for my good friends, Sandy and Shamato, this is T-Roll saying thank you so much for listening to the Royal Geek Podcast. We will see you next time, you peasants.